Adventure Time Distant Lands came out with its first special focusing on BMO on HBO Max. I, at first wasn't sure how well this would work. I was curious, and I actually really liked this idea. It's sort of like BMO in space has a space adventure. I, to be honest, would watch a series called BMO Goes on Adventures in Space. I would be totally cool with that. And I thought this was actually really cool when BMO goes to like this weird alien world and does a lot of stuff. I don't want to reveal too much, so I won't really do that. I don't want to spoil anything, but it had a real kind of heavy metal art style, kind of reminded me of Morbius and things of that nature, kind of that odd sci-fi 70s deal, basically. I thought it was actually really good about that, and I think Adventure Time works best when you have this whole like open world of weirdness, the idea of animation, anything is possible, and I think Adventure Time does that. I love how people in Adventure Time talk as well, and that kind of like weird, like I think they said that's just dumb or something like that. I also noticed someone in the background did the Clone High like thing where it's like with the cup. I noticed someone did that. I don't know if it's a reference or just inadvertent, but probably is. But yeah, I noticed that. And I thought the animation was really great. HBO Max really spent quite a lot on that. It didn't feel like just a normal Adventure Time thing. It felt like kind of more of an awesome special. And I liked all the voices in it. Stephen Root, the character he's doing, I know appears later, but he does such a great sort of like Jeff Bridges voice in it. I sort of almost believe it's Jeff Bridges, even though I know it's Stephen Root. And Randall Park, who's in this as the character of Hugo, I thought also does a really good job. I like Randall Park in general as an actor. I thought he was very good. And Pendleton Warren apparently has a small voice role doing something. I did generally really like this. I didn't think it was too long. The length didn't really bother me. I had a good time watching. It was like BMO goes on this cool adventure with was it Y5 basically, this character, and kind of like saves the day and does all that stuff. I think this would be a cool series. It didn't really bother me, even though it didn't really occur to me until I actually watched Paleo's review, which was a good review, by the way. You should check it out. And he gets more into the spoiler things. I don't want to say that because we're on a stream and you'd have to mute it, and that just sounds annoying, so I won't get into that. But I generally think this has a lot of potential because I think there's a lot to go into with Adventure Time lore and the Adventure Time story, and I think the creative team is so there to do and expand and go off-world and like all the different worlds that are there and all the different things in there. I think this is like works really well with Adventure Time because there's such a large, expansive world there. You could do different kind of like episodes of the week and everything like that. And I think, to be honest with you, Adventure Time, it's perfect for an anthology show like this. I'm curious if they're able to tell everyone else's story in these 45-minute lengths as well as they did with BMO. But if anyone, to be honest, like after watching this, I was almost convinced that BMO should have his own, or BMO, is it him or they, or I don't know BMO's, anyway, whatever, BMO should have a spin-off, and I think that would actually be really cool. Just BMO goes on adventures. I was totally down for that. Also, I know the guy who did the animation director supervising, Kimson Albert. I met a long time ago. We're Facebook friends, so that was cool. I was like, oh, neat. But if you're into Adventure Time, I think it's probably more for fans. I don't know if anyone who isn't a fan would watch this. I watched it by myself. I didn't watch it with anyone else. But I think in terms of like, if you are a fan, it's really great, and I would actually tell non-fans to watch it. I don't know what that would be like, but I think BMO is a strong character, and Adventure Time was always good at doing these kind of like side character storylines and things like that, so I think it's like a kind of a natural progression for the show to do. I know one is actually going to be with Finn and Jake, but it's kind of like a nice little treat, like, oh cool, a little mini special of Adventure Time. And I thought really Adventure Time Distant Lands really wonderfully gave me that, and just sort of remind me of the potential of that show, and everything it could do really well is just like have all these strange, weird, different kind of creatures and like have fun with that. And I thought that's what this did. You know, BMO went to a whole different world, and they had all these like cool backgrounds, they had all these cool like little references, they had all this, you know, crazy stuff going on that you can just, you know, fall into this whole world that they've built. You know, it's like that show's so good at world building and going into this like deep, rich world. It like really showcased what was so wonderful about Adventure Time, and also some of their side episodes. And it was kind of surprising because as it was going on, I did think for a little bit that could this, in the storyline, I was like, oh, how long can this still be interesting? But I found it to be interesting all throughout. So it's like just a great Adventure Time adventure basically with BMO. And if you're down for that, I think Adventure Time Distant Lands so far with this first episode is actually really great and wonderful.